write tracks for Steve Swift reviews. He punched me twice in the face and asked for a duel. The pugilistic prophet with newbies diagnostics, like Scroobius Pip but less toxic. The UK comic shooting stars never lost it. It's 2025 and the internet still dies. Guys are chasing algorithms like a crack pipe high.
All right, I'm Steve. He's Chris. This is Freaky Friday. No, I'm just kidding, ladies and gentlemen. I wouldn't do that to you. I'm actually Chris, and he is actually Steve Swift. And Steve, here's my question for you, because it's been announced now that Zuffa Boxing has a show, ladies and gentlemen, January 23rd, a Friday night fights, so to speak. And what do you know about this so far, Steve?
Nothing. Nobody does, because they've announced it on the for the 23rd.
Yeah.
So the 24th is UFC show. Mm-hmm. So they've announced it, and they've announced as far as I can see. I mean, I was looking this morning. Sure. No details of any boxers whatsoever. This will be the softest of soft launches. If they don't get this right, as Oscar De La Hoya said, I mean, he also used the phrase, "I'll bet my ball sack he's lying to you," which is brilliant. But he said, you need to make this good, guys. Don't feel under any pressure and don't drink too much eggnog at Christmas, because they got to make this good. And there's nothing. Now, it's a bit of a trend, because we've got announced today, which is on the 21st, Lawrence Okoli versus Ebenezer Tete. They've announced it today. Okay, get your tickets. Well, it's in Nigeria, but, it's 4 days away or so, folks. Mm-hmm. Where's the build for that? So the same thing's happening here. If they don't watch it, they'll be in real trouble.
Well, so the card that the UFC has for the 24th on this whole thing, that is the one that's headlined by Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett at T-Mobile Arena. Kayla Harris and Amanda Nunes, Sean O'Malley, Song Yadong, Waldo Cortez Acosta, Derek Lewis, Arnold Allen, and Gene Silva. That's your main card for the UFC the next night. So does Zuffa and the UFC really have to put anything into this? Because they've made one announcement. Apparently the part of the meeting that happened is that are you ready for it? There's going to be a new ring design, Steve. There's going to be a new ring design. Now, you know what I'm thinking that it's going to be? Because they already have the Octagon trademarked. Why not? Why not just make it the Octagon, but with the ropes? So then you have the Octagon that's your cage, you have your Octagon that's your ropes, and it's all a nice one big happy family. Super simple. That would be my prediction, my guess on this one. What do you think?
Probably, yes. But are they going to do, is it going to be, okay, no, I mean, it's on Paramount Plus, isn't it? So, yes. So you'll actually so really, they can't offer it free. So it's going to have to, I mean, you paid for it already if you have a subscription. But are they going to do, here's how we got here, here's who we are, here's a new ring, here's the design of the Zuffa belt, here's the ring belt, go and fuck yourselves. That's it, we're out of here. Mic drop, see ya. Could they do 2 hours of that? They bloody could, They could say, well, here's some of the boxers. As Nick Khan said, there'll be some people you know and some people you don't know. Really? What a surprise.
Well, here's what they could get away with even. This entire thing, if it's a 2-hour program, they only need to have 3-4 fights, because the rest of that time can be filled up with, let's do stories about the people. First of all, let's have a bunch of our fighters stand out on the stage and let's introduce them. And then once Canelo walks out there, people lose their absolute minds. Once Terrence Crawford walks out there, they lose their minds, right? Once these kind of fighters walk out there, and now we're going to be like, hey, now the job is to sell the fights in the future. And you're going to watch all of these fights in the future. But here's a little teaser of what you're going to get. And they're going to throw in, this guy from his UFC fights, and Chris Weidman is going to fight somebody, and it's going to be a boxing match. And they're going to do this. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because they're going to give you so much of the story of this new product that you're going to be just fine, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to enjoy the hell out of this thing. I can tell you that right now. And you're not going to bitch about it until after it's over, because most of you guys are just like wrestling fans. Losers. Anyways, I'm excited about this, Steve. I don't know about you. I think it's going to be very interesting because they haven't failed me in the MMA world. UFC has not failed me in the things that they've done. And to me, it's not like Vince McMahon trying to promote bodybuilding. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that is out of the realm for them to be able to promote. I think it's going to be just fine. And really, at the end of the day, it's another TV product for Paramount. Paramount, this is a perfect thing for them since PBC, right, and Showtime is not doing a thing. So I think that this could be proper, as long as they don't film it the same way and shoot it the same way that they do the Riyadh things, right? Because I don't need to see his excellency the entire time. Give me some old HBO filming. Crazy.
Yes, I mean you could be right. I'm kind of lukewarm on this, really, because I'm thinking more of the background to it. More of that in a minute. But yes, they could do the reality TV thing. They could do that, and as you say, announce Crawford, announce Canelo, because two things. Crawford has said, I won't be. Canelo said I won't be fighting on Cinco de Mayo. People have gone, oh my God,
we've already got a fight for that. We've already got a fight for Cinco de Mayo. We've got Benavidez, and it looks like it's not going to be Ramirez.
Yeah, yes, no. Indeed. But he'll be back in September.
Yeah,
and also at the same time, Terence Crawford has slapped a $100 million tag on him, so he can say, "Keep away, suitors. This is too rich for your blood, and take a pause, and I can come back in September and then fight Canelo."
Yeah, on Zuffa Boxing, and they bring both of them out there to promote this thing coming up in September. Promote this thing in January. Now you're hooked. You're hooked for the entire year. It's brilliant. It's going to be something like that. It's going to be either that exact thing or very, very similar, ladies and gentlemen. And that is the biggest thing in boxing right now that doesn't involve any kind of belt or anything like that. The only other thing you would be able to do in January, and that's all dependent on what happens this weekend, the only other one that you could do is if Anthony Joshua wins this weekend, you bring him out and you bring Tyson Fury out. Or who knows, ladies and gentlemen, you could have all four of them out there anyways, regardless of what happens this weekend. Could you imagine Zuffa Boxing says, hey, this year we're putting on Canelo versus Crawford rematch. We're putting on Pacquiao versus Mayweather rematch. And we're putting on Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury, the one you've wanted to see. It doesn't matter what the story behind any of those matches are. The fact that they're able to do it on Paramount, ladies and gentlemen, that's a new game. I don't care what you think about any of this stuff. You're going to love the shit out of that Octa ring or whatever they're going to call it.
Ring.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I mean, they're all great, but you're missing the biggest.
Okay.
Pot.
Oh, come on. Don't say it. You can't. They can't afford him. They can't afford who you're thinking of.
You can afford who I'm thinking of, because I'm thinking of, you bring out Tommy Fury, you bring out Darren Till. That's the real shit, Tidster. That's the real shit.
Well, listen, I thought you were going with Carl Froch for a second there, Steve.
Well, I was just going to say, you get Carl Froch in the middle of it and say, I'll fight all of you. I'll fight all of you. And then when somebody says, yeah, come on, then he runs away. You could do that every week. In every situation where he kicks off with someone, he takes his dry cleaning back and he gets it back and it's not so good. And he goes, do you know what? I'm getting really angry. All right, I'll fight you, Carl. And then he runs away. That would be great.
Carl Froch could be the Matt Damon of boxing. You know, Yeah. Just kind of like he just maybe we got time for you tonight, Matt. Nah, I don't think so. Maybe next week. You know?
Yeah, because he will be at the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight. When he talked to Tony Bellew, he mentioned it 3 times, and he really wanted Tony Bellew to pick up on it. And Tony Bellew steadfastly did not until at the end, when you could see Carl Froch thinking, "Oh, he's going to talk about it," and he went, "So are you going to go and see it?" He said, "No, I can't be bothered. I don't want to see that. Not interested." And Carl Froch, you could see him. Oh God, I just wanted to be your friend.
100%. Tony's hilarious right now at this point in his life. He is absolutely hilarious. All right, listen, Steve, thank you so much.